When people grow up, many of them want to become astronauts, football players, doctors, lawyers, or businessmen. But there are some weird ones like me that want to become powerful, critical, independent thinkers. Our idols are not the common ones like Michael Jordan or Lionel Messi. They're Aristotle, Einstein, Gödel, Kant, Martin Luther King, Borges, Planck, or even Chomsky. People that, through their intellect, revolutionize not just their field of study, but how we collectively think and understand the world. Clearly, this is not an easy thing to accomplish, and unfortunately for the nerds like us, there's no career one can choose to become one. We're basically left to our own devices. So, in my journey to becoming a better thinker, I thought I would give some tips that I've been learning through my short path, as well as some advice that I've been reading and learning from teachers. Read books, the difficult ones. I'm not sure if you noticed, but people that are really good thinkers read a lot because, of course, it's the best way to acquire knowledge and learn. But what I've also noticed is that when I read complicated and challenging books, my mind gets bigger and in a strange way expands. I finished a very challenging book called Gödel Esther Bach by one of the most well-rounded thinkers of our time, Douglas Hofstadter. The book combines and intertwined music, Zen, language, mathematics, logics, brain, biology, and art to give us a multiple perspective view on how the self arises from the brain. And as I was reading the book, I could see and feel how my mind expanded to understand some mathematical formula or to comprehend how biology, Zen, and even mathematics can intertwine and be combined to explain some phenomenon. That's why I recommend reading books that challenge you, either if it's because the author is a 17th century philosopher or because it's about a subject that you have zero clue about. They will push you to a conceptual limit and expand the way you think and learn. Learn about different subjects and topics. An important trait of intelligence is the ability to relate two or more completely different topics, making analogies between them and even advancements that weren't possibly conceived before. Although Einstein's specialty was in physics, he was very well versed in politics and philosophy. And Schrödinger, even though he was one of the fathers of quantum mechanics, wrote a splendid book about the origins of life called What's Life? Most, if not all powerful thinkers were knowledgeable in different topics and had no problem jumping from one topic to another. And my theory is that this enabled them to make connections, perhaps subconsciously, that made them far better than the average thinker. By learning from different sources, places, and subjects, our mind will start to make unconscious connections that will propel our ability to think and learn. Study different perspectives. Ken Wilber, a holistic thinker, once said that nobody's intelligent enough to be 100% wrong. Every school or thought, idea or perspective has some grain of truth in them, although it may sound completely outrageous to our minds. Our job as aspiring thinkers is to study different perspectives, contemplate and integrate them into a unified vision of the world. In biology, for example, Darwinians believe that evolution is a blind and mechanical process that occurs after several beneficial mutations in the DNA of an organism. On the other hand, the School of Intelligent Design believes that it's impossible for significant beneficial changes to take place through random DNA mutations. They say that there's a creator or intelligence behind it all guiding the process. Most likely, both theories have correct and erroneous aspects, and it would be naive to completely disregard one side because it doesn't fit our idea of how the world should work or our cosmology. A good thinker will study both of them and reach to a conclusion encompassing both views, which doesn't appear to fit on the surface, but it does when we look closely. By studying multiple perspectives, our conclusions and thinking will not be limited to just one aspect and will be much more comprehensive and holistic. Write your thoughts down. I've been reading a lot for quite a while now, but it was just recently that I started writing my thoughts down. I've noticed that when I did that, my ideas became grounded and materialized. It seems that when we go from thought to paper, we are required to state our ideas in a clear and precise form. We don't get that freedom that's inherent in the mind. And just by writing them down into a piece of paper or a Word document, they naturally get clearer and give space for new ideas to arise. So make it a habit of writing down your ideas. It will help you quite a bit to clear your mind and reflect on your own thinking process. And the final tip is stop using social media that much. Our brains are elastic, malleable, and change over time, and we've known this fact for a few years now. This phenomenon is called neuroplasticity. Beliefs, thoughts, and habits rewire our brains, and even the environment does too. But what about the way we consume information? Social media is all about quick and fast bits and pieces of information. We scroll down and check 50 Facebook posts in less than a minute, and transition from one page to another in a matter of seconds. The internet is driving us from one place to the next, with notifications, email, and pushes stealing us from the ability to focus and concentrate. Both of them are literally changing our brains, dictating how and what we can think. Because our attention muscle is weakening, our ability to read a book and go deep into a subject is being diminished. We cannot contemplate deeply some subject or question because our mind craves for something new, novel, entertaining. And unfortunately, that's not where and how powerful thinking exists. If we want to become critical, powerful, and independent thinkers, we must reduce our use of social media and train our minds to focus for long periods of time, intensely. This ability specifically will be critical for success, peace of mind, and fulfillment in the 21st century. It might be hard at first, but with time and commitment, I can assure you it will be worth it. So those were my 5 tips I found useful in my journey to becoming a powerful thinker. I hope you enjoy them too, and you'll take action with some of them. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check our page, Inerize.com. We have a newsletter that's getting better every single day, and an Instagram profile which is @Inerize1. Thank you very much, and see you next week.